Yeah, we're actually here for Counter-Strike. Although after that last performance from Hard Legion, maybe Counter-Strike would be too kind of statement. Pretty bad.
Jesus. Well, yeah, I mean, Winstrike is certainly here to play. Hard Legion, we'll have to wait and see. It's a bit of a rush here into this pistol round. They go quick with a smoke and 2 flashes from Sviat. Man at the back of the site yet to be seen because Bondik is just beaning on these T's one after another. Lackey at the back, he is just trapped, but no reason to peek out wide. He's been dinked, and the longer he's here, the more time he really buys for his team. Hobbit's on a flank already. He's so quick in the back line. They're going to use that, though, to chase him down. They could retreat. They could get out of this site, but the bomb is here, and the CTs have now smoked it.
He's using that smoke to perch up on the box. It's a really good angle, but he needs his teammate to stay alive. He's very low. One bullet anywhere and he's dead. So Elliot, this is a really important trade and it goes against him. And somehow Lackey with the aforementioned 8. Gotta try and pop this some point blank range. Kinky spots him on top of the boxes, on top of the sandbags. And Hard Legion, they actually win the first round. That's great news for their confidence.
Yeah, that's huge. 4 kills for Kinky as well. Very nice, slow down to get the bomb. They deal with Hobbit on the flank, who certainly could have gotten multiple kills there. Nice try, but Winstrike gonna force, and yeah, obviously, right, this map is so good for forcing, especially on that CT side, much like Nuke. You've got a lot of close positions, and gimpy little spots, sandbags, hiding in corners, boosts. I mean, there's just so many options here on the CT side. So Winstrike spotting ramp, Hobbit with a drop. He does get some info. Won't see the bomb. That's still outside of mid, or at least, well, the bottom of mid, I guess, so below the ladder. Hobbit re-smoking back in. That smoke's going to land in front of the sandbags. Hard Legion really taking their time with the second round, playing it safe and secure. They're looking like they want to end B. Only 1 CT here, Lackey. Crizzen is supporting from the back of mid, so he can come in quickly, and he will be needed to as well. There is a mid lurk. That's Crad, so keep your eyes on him. He'll be coming through later to catch these rotations.
Watching for the push as well into middle. So good positions from Winstrike. And the T's now starting to make a move into the site. Big 1D from Crizzen, keeping his position. Additionally, that box is going to give him sanctuary, even though he was flashbanged. Crad stuck in middle, does spot one player towards the elevators, and now Crizzen's gone down. Bondik does come back in with 1v1 now. No, 1v2, pardon me. Crad actually stays alive in middle. So Elian got to deal with Sviat and Crad's low HP. Just a scout, but his position hasn't been spotted yet. Did get a kill earlier on, but he could have moved as far as they're concerned, and he still has the cross. 20 seconds to play with. Hard Legion need to get this kill quickly. And Crad, perfect position with the Mac-10. The patience going to pay out dividends, and Hard Legion take a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, nice start, but only the anti-ecos really here, as Winstrike have yet one more with the pistols. Hard Legion still with the Mac-10s, making money left and right. P250s and Deegs. We have a B stack here for Winstrike, but unfortunately for them, Hard Legion, they're running the other side of the map up towards that A short position. Luckily, the B stack allows Winstrike to get aggressive, but Forrester is watching for this. He's going to see everyone. Oh no, it's getting messy. How many can he get? Only 1.5. It's a gun given over, but the wrap is in. Hard Legion have no fear in this round. They're running them down with the Mac-10s, and this is going to be a third, surely. We're waiting for Winstrike's buy, and that is just around the corner.
Yeah, these are just the padding sort of rounds, not really expecting too much from this. And Winstrike have Hobbit left with his USP, just looking for some exits. Best case scenario for him. As you said, Winstrike going to have their buy into the next one. Elian should be able to afford Norp additionally, so at least that's going to be a little bit of power. I mean, Vertigo is one of those maps where I don't think you necessarily have to go for an AWP, but there are a lot of good positions where the AWP can really ring out, especially around middle. You have that little room spot at the back of A where you can just be perched up and watch ramp. So I'd expect to see him pick one up, but we'll see.
He's hesitating. He's considering, and he's doing it. It's out. Elian with the AWP. None for the T side as Hard Legion set up towards B. It might be another rush, right? Essentially like the bonus round, I guess you could say. They have a Mac-10. Not really bonusy, but Re-smoke in middle. They're not going to rush anyway. Flashing through, but Crad won't commit. He is lurking. We're going to see him a lot here in mid. I'd imagine here from what we've seen from these 3 rounds already. Hard Legion, they throw nades B early, they commit A late. There's 2 CTs here fighting at long angles. This is so great where Elian's playing. We see Stewie sit here so much for Liquid and just AWP down this hugely favorable angle for the CT side. It allows you to play solo A as well because you get that info early. The T's are crossing, the T's are coming up ramp, but actually that smoke is going to deny everything. Thrown down in front of the face of Elian. He no longer has the info. He has to call for rotations, and Bondik is here. Elian spamming the smoke, but he will eventually pull back. It's Bondik to take first blood.
First rifle, Software. Really pretty solid on Winstrike. 50 seconds to play with. Hard Legion already taking casualties and hefty damage. Crad 40, Forrester 63. No damage yet on Winstrike. Still have a couple smokes and a incendiary. No kits could be an issue. 35 now on the board, and now the T is going to start to push their way onto the B side of the map. Slight gap in that smoke is huge for Lackey. He'll be taking that kill all day, and also able to just scramble backwards as he gets pressed down. Bondik through on middle. Another kill onto Crad. And our Hard Legion just have 2 players and 13 seconds at their disposal. Good molly onto the site. It's going to just pretty much sweep this round away with the AUG and the M4 spray. Much better from Winstrike.
Yeah, that's what you like to see. Kind of what we're expecting coming through on the first rifle round. Hard Legion, man, they just don't look like... Oh, I'm having the same flashbacks to Overpass T-side where it's like they don't feel like they want to commit. They don't feel confident in whatever their call is. They're just going back and forth between the bomb sites. I'd love to see them just pick one and throw everything at it. That's typically how you run Vertigo, right? Even if you want to throw this like early fake, right there was B nades early, take A, lose A, back to B, like... Yeah, this is not a map where you can do that for sure, but it's so much info for the CTs if you run anywhere. The footsteps get heard from the players above you, and sneaking just takes so long. So there's no real like answer there. Hard Legion, they're going back towards it. They got a pick in this round. It's a perfect time. They found Hobbit hidden in the smoke as it fades, and he's trying to use that own utility against them. It will not work. 5 on 3 up towards the site. Bondik's turned. He's looking at the smokes, and that is perfect timing for Kinky. Catching another. And honestly, Winstrike, best bet would be saving here. They probably won't do it, but I'd love to see this AWP dragged forward for another round. Elian's being flanked, though, in spawn, and there's a lot of chasing going on. Hard Legion want to get rid of these guns, but Crad is gone, and there's only one more mid lurk here as Hard Legion take the A site.
Site indeed. They haven't got the plant down just yet, but that'll be coming up in a few moments' time. I was a bit worried for Hard Legion. They're going to chase so much without getting the plant down that they could have put themselves in a situation where it was like a 2v3, and Winstrike could have feasibly even won the round. But now that they've chilled a little bit, secured the bomb plant, Sviat moving in with his AK, going to try and see if he can quell the remaining defenders, but Winstrike are in a good position to hold this one off. However, it is going to be 4-1. They are going to be trailing already, and next buy is not going to be great either. So some of the questions on the desk were, could Hard Legion hard reset and come back into this second map and have a kind of change of heart? And it's definitely inspiring to see that to start off with. It seems they are. That's great for a neutral's perspective, that we will get a more competitive map at least.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's more than competitive. It's one-sided, right? One rifle round for Winstrike, and Hard Legion otherwise are controlling this one. Yeah, I wonder if that will continue. Obviously, you know, Vertigo favored the T side a lot more often than not, especially for Winstrike. 55% of their rounds are T-sided rounds, and so they are going to be more comfortable there. I think back to the last time I recall Winstrike playing this map was their first series after their month break. Just the other day, coming into this third stage of WePlay, it was against Nemiga. Obviously, Nemiga are really, really good, as mentioned on the desk, talking about Speedak and his move from Hard Legion over to that team. But yeah, Nemiga destroyed Winstrike on this map. Like, Winstrike got 5 T rounds, and then they just got slammed. So that was a bit worrying. Obviously, we put it down to that series, like Winstrike having not played any officials in a while and then warming into it. They've looked better since that point, but this game is looking similar to that one. So maybe now's the time to turn it around. Hobbit is going to try and fight ramp. He does this a lot. You'll see Hobbit continuing to sit in these smokes and play around the Molotovs. He's burning a lot, though. Ooh. Oh, no, the spam. He might be dead here. Down to 3. Gets out alive with his utility. It's Bondic that's pushed instead. He's now taken a deep position down the bottom of ramp, and these T's are setting up, boosting, looking for kills, taking their time.
It didn't die. It still does have this domino effect where he can't go too aggressive. It draws down that third player as well to try and bolster this up, and Bondic goes aggressive into the fire, into the flames, and Kinky will extinguish him with the AK round to the head. Winstrike hot off the back of a 1-4 deficit. Not the ideal start. On the back foot already. And this is where Hobbit's health is going to have that little bit more impact as well. He can't even afford to go desperation mode and try and search for some kills or search for some information. He pretty much has to play passively with Ellie, and that's just going to absorb more pressure.
Look at the stack on B. Hard Legion have done it again. They've walked back. Winstrike have read it. It all feels so predictable when Winstrike push ramp and they see it's clear. They know it's going to be a B play later. They have 3 here. It's not meaning they're going to win the round, especially not with that entry. Forrester finding the first. Do they expect more, though? Lackey swings. He's dropped the bomb. There's a player closer than he was ready for, but he still gets the kill to Kinky. Down low, out with the flash again. The bomb's been forgotten. There's 20 seconds. Are they going to save? Vince, it's overpass again. I don't know if there's even time to make this rotation. I actually don't think there's time to make this rotation. And they're going to go for it anyway. They have the A site, sure, but they are running wild trying to get this planted. There might just be time. Forrester throwing Molotovs. He's going to get it down with a second remaining. That is close.
Big gamble. Such a big call to make. As he said, we saw this in an overpass. This time, though, that rotation with 2 low players and a good amount of weaponry at their disposal, Winstrike will be tapping out. So that's Hard Legion taking a 5-1 lead. But I agree, that call on the fly just gets them across the finish line. And now I'm starting to worry a bit for Winstrike. I mean, it's sometimes have we seen this already in this tournament, Hugo, where teams trade maps and convincingly so. I'm not saying obviously Hard Legion have won this yet, but the early sign is looking a little bit grim, at least for Winstrike.
Definitely. I mean, saving 6 rounds in, never fun in a 3-on-3. Like Winstrike, they had a great read there as well. They knew it was going to be a B play, but actually, you know, just one player getting 2 kills sent Hard Legion back. And well, at least now I've learned something. I know the rotation time between B and A. You have 25 seconds. You can you can do it if you run from B to A and you have the site already, as long as you know you're not stopping to take fights. So that's useful information for maybe you at home. Hard Legion going mid. They haven't really taken mid other than leaving Crad here on a lurk. This area has been empty. So now even showing us new things 7 rounds deep, 3 players there. They won't commit to it early. Still got players holding default. Hard Legion have loved these slow rounds, and I don't think Winstrike are used to this as well. The way that Hard Legion are playing, the pace they're setting, the fact they're holding so much. Winstrike love fighting ramp. They love getting aggressive, and that's very hard to do when Hard Legion are holding down the line. But not in this round. The kills do go the way of Winstrike. Quick flick from the AWP, and a 5-on-3 found immediately.
Oh, it's not from Elliot. Just what he's looking for. He's not had the best of series so far, but Crizin, perforated by the AK of Crad through middle, opens up some avenues now for business, and Hard Legion will be hoping that they can turn the tables of this man advantage back in their favor. Hobbit, wrong side of the smoke from Crad's perspective, and now it's going to clear, and Hobbit will pounce out ahead. Forrester, though, just beforehand, did also nullify Lackey, which opens up the B site. They're going to go for that post plant with a Molotov down towards CT side. So this is going to cordon off the remaining CTs. Molly also tossed in from CTs towards the bomb. That's going to force Sviat off. Takes a bit of damage. Some flirtation through the smoke. Not really going to yield any kills as of yet. Now, Hobbit, who's been patiently waiting in this angle for his teammates to arrive, is going to show his hand. Sviat, 1-on-3. Has done so much damage. The remaining 2 players are exceptionally low, but Sviat's also a little bit low himself. 48 HP, and the timing, the positioning is not on his side. There's going to be enough time for the defuse, and Winstrike will pick up their second.
Yeah, nice play from Hobbit and Bondic coming out with 2 apiece. And yeah, it's like Winstrike have had the info. They know where this one's going. It's not like they're getting caught off guard. They just, they finally trade effectively. That's all that is. It looked like Hobbit was going to mow it down with a 3K before it gets very close. And Winstrike now got to sit and wait as Hard Legion call a pause before this next buy round. You'll notice the money's a bit of miss. They probably will buy here with Sviat and Krad dropping guns over and having no utils as a result. Although, if you want to play AWP, if that's what your game plan relies on, you could eco this, you could throw some pistols over, buy some Kev, and save it for later. That's a decision Hard Legion are making. And wow, they're going to buy the AWP. Are they going to buy pistols around the AWP? No, fully committing. So not 5 rifles, but damn good if you ask me.
Winstrike's economic situation as well. If they can make this very mixed match buy work, then Winstrike in real trouble. I mean, some people would argue that this map can be heavily T-sided depending on the team. So I'm sure they're not pushing the panic button just yet. Winstrike, there's still more than enough time to bounce back into this. But Hard Legion with a gamble. Let's see if it pays off for them. If it does, it's going to be a hefty reward.
And an even heftier B-site hold here from Winstrike. Look at the 2 close players fighting towards the ramp. And they get info very much ahead of time here, especially with that utility giving some info away. The smoke actually denies a lot of position in the site, so Crizzen has to reposition. But yeah, Hard Legion, look how hesitant they are. Look how slow they are to take control. Maybe waiting for grenades to fall down. But Winstrike, it's not like they've got a bunch of utility. Only smokes really left on the CT side with the exception of Bondic. So waiting in the wings. No one pushing here for Hard Legion. No one committing. And they're just holding the bottom of B, man. This is like I'm struggling to know what they're trying to accomplish here. They're going to walk back towards A with 2, hoping that Winstrike are flanking. I think that's surely what this is, right? Hobbit was very aggressive earlier in this game. Putting pressure on B might force, you know, Winstrike's hand to push another area of the map. And considering Hard Legion were lacking the map control, they were hoping for that. It's not the case, though. Triple B stack right now with this A fake coming through. And Hobbit, as long as he gets enough info, he can tell his team not to rotate because the bomb will commit B late. Hobbit has the site. He's going to check the smoke, going back, but dead to Sviat, and that could cause pandemonium here. They're going to commit into the stack. There's still 3 CTs here. They haven't moved a muscle. What a read for Winstrike. Not falling for this one. Bomb drop, 10 seconds. It's a save for Hard Legion.
Even though Hobbit did not get a single kill out this round, he did so much work. He's almost the MVP of this because of the way he played on the ramp. He was jumping up and down from sandbags, saw 2 of them on ramp pushing up, didn't see the bomb. And so he felt comfortable to say, like, don't worry about rotating. Like, we're okay. Then, sure, he died on the site. He did a bit of damage, and he stalled them that little bit longer with his utility. So well played from Hobbit. And we were discussing before about that gamble pick. The nature in which Hard Legion played that round, they can still come back into this because they end up saving 3 guns. And they have a Tech 9 in the hands of Rage who could actually drop to Forrester or Kinky. So they could muster together another decent buy here instead. But definitely well played from Winstrike. 2 rounds in a row. Rifle rounds now looking pretty decent for them and some very, very good reads.
Tech timeout here before we get back into this madness. It's a bit of a rough one considering the money, right? Hard Legion saving guns, but 2 players dead. I mean, could argue that Forrester and Kinky can just like buy PT50s and eco this one out, but might want to just fully commit to it, full send, get your money on level with your team. Winstrike building into this game though, right? Like it was a bit scary at 5-1, but a couple of rounds in a row, and Winstrike. I love the fact that they don't fall for that B play, or that A play rather, that the fake. You know, Hobbit, the only info he gets is, I've seen 1 player, I've heard 2. So, you know, it's not enough to call a full rotate. I like what Hard Legion are trying to do, though. I think that would work against a lot of teams, especially with how quickly, you know, because the rotations are quick on this map, that tempts you into always going for them because you know you can bail very quickly or you can get back into B very quickly. And, yeah, you know, I think a lot of teams would have fallen for that one, but Winstrike not. And a lot of that is Hobbit, the big brain on his shoulders, and carrying his team to victory here. Right now it's Bondic top of the server. And yeah, I think Bondic's always an interesting talking point. Obviously we have Hellraiser's roster in this tournament, but well, in the qualifier, obviously very different now. Bondic has spent more than enough time with that team. It's nice to see him playing with other players as well. Attack timeout? I don't know. Another one coming through. Maybe they wanted the tech, but maybe Hard Legion just want to chat before they go live.
Yeah, they still had some decisions to make, and they're going to decide to go for this. I'm a little bit surprised that Rage didn't drop his Tech 9 to Forester, which allowed a little bit more in terms of utility. Then again, I suppose if they wanted to mix it up and be a bit more mobile, then having Europa with a Tech 9 just allows you with 5 aggressive players rather than 4. So I can see it on both sides of the coin here. But Hard Legion, as a result of their save, as I was anticipating, have gone all in again. They're going to rinse and repeat. It's the same idea. Try and break down that economy, try and get up in the face and get that 6th round and put Winstrike in awkward position. And I agree, I really respect the call to stick into positions, because if you remember, it was a very late rotate that Hard Legion did in the previous round that actually won them the round. So they've already done that in this very map, and Winstrike did not fall for it at all.
Yeah, and I mean, already off of that round, it tells enough to Winstrike that, okay, now we know what they're doing. For the rest of this half, we need to be very careful with our rotations. That's all they need to communicate, and it's something they'll certainly be ready for now. So obviously that can come back to bite you when maybe you aren't convinced that a commitment is a commitment. But yeah, just use that info and second guess yourself sometimes, I would say, is a safe way of doing this. Especially with, again, Hard Legion, same setup, just barely leaving spawn, man. They're just sitting bottom ramp. They're not even peeking A. This Orb has got to be the one to get the openers, though. Couple of AKs available. Gap in the smoke, and Elian is gone. Nice shot from Rage. Second man on short side, that's Bondic. He's going to drop his utility, and already you can see Winstrike have left B. They're pulling everyone over to the site. They are convinced, and rightly so.
Typically wouldn't send the AWP out by himself on the lurk. You're expecting to see more players behind that. So correct decision from Winstrike, and now the T's starting to press and push in. That smoke actually working against the CTs. Crack comes in, nearly gets another one, but now Kinky with the Mac 10 wraps around the backside. Hobbit and Prison both chip in with kills, but they're behind by 1 player. And with 28 seconds, the spray and Sviat through the smoke is going to get the protruding Hobbits, and Lackey tries his hand at pushing the smoke himself, and he goes down very much the same way. Much better from Hard Legion. Their force by works.
Yeah, very well done. Obviously, opening kill is big there from Rage, finding Elian, opening down ramp. I think we might see Winstrike be a little more careful with that one, especially with how slow Hard Legion are being and how manipulative they're being. You know, dropping close smokes across the shore, flashing just even the first peak, and that first peak is coming through so late as well. Look at this pace, though. The switch up from Hard Legion, I love it. They run Prison down in middle. He was not ready to be rushed down by 2 players that fast, and they just abandon. They leave mid. They leave Sviat here to get that info and throw his utility, but everyone else has gone back to B. And well, what Winstrike, I think, have realized, but they have no one in the site right now. Hard Legion are yet to commit, but Winstrike, they might want to set up positions just all ambling around the CT spawn at the back of Gens, and with 2 players on SMGs and pistols, these are not the guns you want to be playing at a range. They need to bring them into the site, and now they will.
TZ perched just behind the smoke. The T's are moving in, but so are the CTs. They're being battered and bruised by and large, though. This is what we expect with this kind of a buy and discrepancy between the 2 teams. And Elian just tries to back away with his. Not going to be allowed the luxury of keeping it into round 11. Good stuff again from Hard Legion, and Winstrike now are broken. This is turning into a really solid T half.
Yeah, without a doubt. And Winstrike don't seem to have the answers for it, right? Like, Hard Legion, just every time they commit, they're like 4 players. And it's so hard to trade effectively as a CT side when Hard Legion, you know, their utility has been really good as well. This is a map they have a 20% win rate on, Vince. This is one that they don't play. And so the fact they're doing this means they've clearly been working on this recently. And the results are showing off well. Prepared for this matchup, perhaps. And Winstrike, they need something here. 3 is not enough. Obviously, still a chance to build into the game. It's not like a 9-1 scoreline that can feel so much rougher. They've actually got, you know, the bare minimum. Even if Winstrike get 3, it's not the end of the world, right? Not that I think that they'll win the game if they get a 3-round CT side, but it's the building blocks. They can certainly get, you know, 5-round half, and that would be just fine. We know their T side is better as well, so it's always a possibility, but it's not looking likely right now. Absolutely slaughtered in this round. 5-on-2. Pistols get made quick work of here by Hard Legion.
Some very crispy flicks as well from Forrester. Nice work by him, and Hard Legion going to be post-plant. Looking at the 8-3. as you highlighted as well, Hugo, I mean, Winstrike will be looking, I would say, for a minimum of 5 rounds here, honestly, maybe 4 at a push, because the T side is better. But I think it's also the fact that Hard Legion, after such a rough overpass, needed a confidence builder. They needed a boost, and they've definitely got it here early on. So this is definitely putting us in an interesting position going forward into the latter stages of this map. Obviously, this round is a write-off. They came in with pistols. They're going to leave with 2 kills, and that's probably going to be all. But 2 kills, not too bad. All things considered, both went to the hands of Bondic. Now a Goodbye going to be focusing in. The downside, though, is if Elian wants an AWP, someone's going to have to drop him one. And that's going to put them down to no Kevlar. So they have a big decision to make. And it could very well be that Lackey ends up dropping in the AWP. I'm not sure how much they want to prioritize it. It's not like he's been taking over the map with it. So maybe they drop down to assault rifles.
You don't want someone dropping the AWP and then playing like glass M4. That's the only issue. So I feel like if they were going to AWP, it would be Lackey glass cannoning. He is that second AWP. We do see him on it. So he could glass this one, but not necessary by any means. The rifles would be fine with how these rounds are going. With it can be hard to get the AWP working because Hard Legion are playing around Rage right now. They're setting him up for those A picks especially, and then they're just grouping B hits with so many smokes that would basically render a defensive AWP useless. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be AWPing into this game either. They're going to stick with the rifles, at least for now. Obviously, when the money's there, why not go for it? Oh, the run boost. It goes round. Forest. Oh, my God. He's going to headshot Lackey on top of the site. That is quite the opening kill. Lackey had the AUG, so I imagine he was zoomed in and never saw that coming. Why would he? Hard Legion, a man up, and the B bomb site is theirs. If I'm Winstrike, I save. This is done. This round's over. Look at how much utility Hard Legion have left.
They may just feel compelled to go for it because of the scoreline, but honestly, it wouldn't be the correct decision. Try and hold on to these guns. It's not like you have anything in the back pocket in terms of finances. And now Kinky is going to try and dispatch of as many players as he can. He is coming under heavy duress, down to pretty low HP. Good flashbang into headshot. Winstrike in real trouble. They only had 1 player on the B defense as well, so it's doubly punishing. And Forrester takes off the head of Elian. They peek way too much down ramp. If you want to save, you have to really stack in for that. You can't be affording to have 1 foot in and 1 foot out of that situation. And now Hobbit, cheeky little off angle, gonna get the drop onto Kinky, but he will be found from Sphere afterwards. So Prison is gonna be the only player to save if he can hold on to his M4. That gives them pretty much nothing to play with in this round other than a force fire, which is gonna be a rough one. And Hard Legion will be favorites to take double digits.
Yeah, I mean, this half is excellent from Hard Legion. Like, Winstrike broke, half buying here, relying on the 1 rifle. Not a pretty picture at all. And Hard Legion have had a lot of depth. They've shown us a lot of different plays. Like early and on, I wasn't sure if this would continue to work, but it really has put them in a great position. CZ kill finds Forrester. That's a lone gun outside of B that they could pick up. No one here to stop them doing so. Lackey's going to grab it. So armed now 2 players for Winstrike. These rounds very much can fall apart. Crowd is jumping to spot mid. Dangerous, but the Molotov is going to miss there. I don't know if it was meant to land close, but only going to clear the corner out. And Hard Legion moving through mid as a unit. I love mid on this map. I think it's, I think it's so undervalued. You can get into elevator by just smoking both left sides. The mid to B splits obviously are pretty much a go-to on this map. And Crowd's taking down Elian, but we've got the AK jumping up, and it's back into an advantage for Winstrike.
The advantage is short-lived though. Sviat with his AK dispatches of Hobbit. He is dropped to 4 in the process, however. That's definitely softened up for the Deeg on Bondic, and of course the 2 aforementioned rifles that they still have. 40 seconds, and Hard Legion still have a ton of utility. 3 smokes, Molotov, some flashbangs. Now pushing in, they have control over B. So will be post-plant. The question now for Winstrike is, do you want to go for this? You're probably going to have a buy in the next round regardless. You know that rounds are very, very important at this point in the game. So I'd imagine that they do, but judging by the positions, it's only Lackey that walks in alone. And he's miles away from his teammates. They're not even close to him right now. They're going from B towards A through middle and underground towards the ladder room. So it's a bit surprising that Lackey tries to walk in, and that really kills the retake stone dead.
Yeah, double digits looking like a lock-in for Hard Legion. And I want to know what they've been like what they've been eating for breakfast. This is quite a different game to Overpass. Like where a map where, you know, not only did Hard Legion look pretty lost, and it was their pick as well, but one where Winstrike individually were looking excellent, man. The AWP was banging, Hobbit was firing off, like no one was playing with fear for Winstrike. And obviously they brought that same attitude into this game, but with how Hard Legion are playing, how slow they're playing on this T side, it's not like Winstrike can play the aggressive style that they wanted to, which obviously let Hard Legion get ahead early, but they've just kept it up. They haven't stopped. Winstrike aren't giving away picks or playing aggressive. Their setup is just getting uprooted. Double AWP here in round number 14. One fighting B. The flash is good though. Boris is going to get tagged up a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. Crad running through a mid smoke, denied by Crizzen. Finally, an opening kill for Winstrike. It feels like it's been too long.
At that point, I'd love to see the stats in terms of first picks. I feel like Hard Legion have, out of the 14 rounds, must have at least 10. It really does feel like it's been that one-sided. So now that Winstrike have the first pick, can they do anything with it? Can they get that all-important 5 rounds going into the second half on their stronger half here on Vertigo? Maybe not. It's another pick. Lackey goes down on B. They do have Crizzen, who's up close, but that flashbang's not really going to do anything for him, as the T's aren't going to fully press behind it. Now they're going to start coming in. He goes down without really much of a fight at all. And Hard Legion looking good for yet another round. They smoked off Hobbit, then nullify him with the AK. And Hugo, what a turnaround. I mean, the end of Overpass, if you'd said the first half's going to end 11-3 at least to Hard Legion on T side, I'd have called you a madman.
Yeah. I don't think I would have disagreed with you, Vince. I don't think I would have said it in the first place. Why would I tell you that? That seems like a lie, but it's not. It's already reality. It's a world we live in. And with this save, okay, the save is good. Elian and Bondic have money to drop guns over, but the score isn't. I said jokingly, like at I don't know, when Winstrike had 3 rounds, maybe it was like it must have been 5-3. I was like, oh yeah, you know, if this half ends with 3, you know, it's not the end of the world. Winstrike have at least got that buffer, but that's me being optimistic. And I really, truly didn't think that's how this half would end. But we're in a world where a 12-3 feels more likely than an alternative, and Winstrike are getting bullied on their map pick. I won't lie, like, you know, the third map of this series, I don't even really know what it is, because I thought Winstrike would get a 2-0 after seeing what they did on Overpass, a map they had 0% win rate on. It's Dust 2 to finish things off. One of Hard Legion's most played maps, another good map for them, and so the pressure really is on for Winstrike here. They may have thought this series was a lock-in after taking Hard Legion's pick, but oh, how the tables have turned.
There hasn't really been anything too crazy from Hard Legion, like strat-wise, pardon me, or tactically. It's not been the really complex, intricate things. It's just been winning duels and out-positioning Winstrike time and time again. And speaking of which, Crizzen should never be missing out on that frag. Fortunately for him, Elian and Lackey instantly dip in and get a kill of their own. So he's going to be turning the tables of how this round comes down. Potentially, Sviat's taking damage alongside Kinky. One of the best chances that Winstrike have had to get around. You know what? Kinky comes out and gets an entry. 2v3 becomes 2v2. And now Hard Legion have a chance at yet another round.
Yeah, man, Winstrike, they need to know when to quit. They need to know when to back up, because re-aggressing with advantages has given more and more you know, advantages away, more and more opportunities here. Winstrike in a 2-on-2, still winnable for the half, for the 4 rounds that can make all the difference. But here come Hard Legion committing to the site. They're waiting out the Molotov. Smoke still available on Kinky. He's going to get bashed up by Rage. Won't set the AWP off. Elian is still holding from the site, hiding on the boost. Lackey in the smoke. If someone tries to plant, he will kill them. He's going to find Rage, but oh no, they both lose their life. Instant kills, both headshots. It's 12-3 at the halftime. Hard Legion, man. Why, how, what? This is a 20% win rate map for them. They get shreked when they play this map, but they are doing it to Winstrike. Also, historically, Winstrike, when they play Vertigo, they always beat CIS teams. The only loss they have is to Big. Every other game, like beating Gambit Youngsters, Espada, and Amiga multiple times. They did lose once to Amiga, but that was like a rarity. So right now, losing to another CIS team is not like Winstrike on this map. Of course, this game isn't done, but they're calling in their third tac pause as they go into the pistol round. So clearly a lot of work to do in the second half for Winstrike.
Especially in this kind of a nature as well, Hugo. It hasn't just been a case of them getting beat. This has been a humiliation. They've got destroyed. You're looking at 3 rounds, 2 of which were in a row, and you're thinking, okay, here we go. It was 3-5. Maybe this is their chance to get a relatively even half, maybe like an 8-7, maybe even a 6-9 half. Nah, they just got completely bodied. And take nothing away from Hard Legion, they've been playing exceptionally well. Everyone's aim is looking on point, but Winstrike, after the tack pause, what do you have in store? You need to get this round so desperately. If you don't, this could easily just turn into a 16-3, and we could be on Dust 2 before they know it.
Very possible, especially with this mid push. Oh, Hobbit. Oh, his legs have been seen. He's holding for this flank, but they know where he is. They don't want to shoot because they know he doesn't know. But Rage still wants Hobbit to peek enough that he can get this kill. Oh my, I've never seen this kind of weird-ass stalemate. Hobbit doesn't know that he's being watched, and yeah, he's had enough. Rage is going to do the damage. 1 shot from death. Hobbit, can he escape? Rage is dropping. Hobbit, oh, he's gotten around the ramp. He's gotten out of dodge for now. But we still have 3 on the A site. Still the info there for Hard Legion as to where Winstrike are going. There's no question about it. 1 smoke, 1 flash. That's on Hobbit. It's key he survived, and the entries have come through. Hobbit wins a fight versus Rage on the flank as well. Now he can throw the utility into A, and even though there's a stack, Winstrike have the advantage.
They do a very interesting and odd engagement on the ladder room. But Winstrike, with the player advantage, 40 seconds to play with, Sviat's going to go aggressively. If he can get the right timing, he can get some kills from this, but he's missed his chance, and he's going to get punished, or perhaps not. Krad standing his ground on side, drops the bomb out, and maybe this round will still be going Hard Legion's way after all. Hobbit, who was tagged up first, is the last to fall, and Hard Legion now are the huge favorites to take this second map.
I'm lost, mate. I don't know what's going on. Winstrike, they have a 4-on-3, and they just split up, and they just 1v1, all of them. The bomb is up short on its own with no teammate, with no support, and they're just dying, you know, on an island, each of them. I'm lost, and I think Winstrike probably are too. They're probably thinking about Dust 2 right now, because that pistol round was a must-win. It was a necessity, and now they're forcing up against full rifles. Krad just fighting down ramp, finding an advantage, and falling back safely into A. He wants more. He's regressing. Hard Legion are flanking. These guys are mad lads right now. They want this game done, and they might just find that result. Bondik with the only kill on this A site, but it comes at a cost. He's down to 10. Nice follow-up through the smoke as well onto Sviat, and Kinky looks to trade, but oh, this crossing the sandbags, it's huge. He's got the kill before it even. And yeah, this round is rough for Winstrike.
I feel like it's being finessed either. It feels like brutal aggression from Hard Legion and zero respect mentality. Like, we're going to win all of our duels and we're going to impose our will on you. That being said, though, they do need to be careful. That hubris could cost them. Overextending a couple of times, 2v2 and Winstrike with a force, if they can take this one down, it would put Hard Legion into a very awkward position, economically speaking. We've discussed this before, that winning the second round is often case much better for the Ts than necessarily just the pistol, because it breaks the CTs down early. And Winstrike going to divide and conquer with their players across the map. Elian is moving across towards A by himself, while Lackey is playing the interference over on B, but he's not been able to actually spot a player and take him down, and now Elian's dropped, and with him goes the bomb, and Forrester is going to make sure that this round doesn't slip away. 14-3.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. I don't really know what to say at this point. It's just dominant. It's just excellent from Hard Legion. But you got to wonder, like, where are Winstrike right now? This is supposed to be their best map. This is supposed to be their pick. We saw them ban it recently, and I questioned it, but I no longer question that because yeah, go back to Nuke or something, because Vertigo, it's just not working for this team right now. At least not off of the recent results, not off of this game. And Winstrike, they're going to give it a go against 14. They forced up again. They're just buying till this one's done. And Lackey, he's going to get a kill at least through the top, traded by Krad. How does he get away with that one? What a madman.
Gets away with it. But are Winstrike going to be able to build anything extra into this? It's not looking good. Kinky with his M4 holding it onto middle, and just everybody that we flick to is massive. expected. Winstrike just cannot get a foothold into this game, and now it's going to be 12 map points with a chance at both teams trading the opposition's choice. First map was 16-5. This could be a 16-3. We are living in opposite worlds.
Yeah, who's going to stomp the third map? That's my question. I don't know where this one's going. Hard Legion, I mean, if they can keep this up, this is looking like their series, right? The fact this is more dominant than the last map is crazy. And, you know, we've had this a lot. I don't want to say it's definitely the reason. It's pure speculation on my end. But, like, we have a lot of the time when we have these morning games. I say morning games, right? It's starting for, like, 11 for us. In Russia, it's, like, 1 p.m. Right? The first game of the day, you know, when you haven't been playing CS for 12 hours at a time, a lot of the time a team will come in like sleeping and just get like 4 or 5 rounds and get owned, and then come back alive in the second. They're like, oh, we're warmed up, remembered what we're doing, we're playing Counter-Strike, and we're here to win. Hard Legion, they seem like that team right now. They may have been sleeping on Overpass, but right now, wide awake, eyes glued to the road, and 4-on-4 in this one to close.
Plenty of players have felt the effects of War, Hobbit, Lackey, and Rage, all tagged, all fatigued. Hard Legion just a few steps away from taking us to Dust 2. Molly onto Sviat should be the end of his life, but he gets a trade, so that's a really good outcome from his perspective. Really had no right to get anything. And I don't know if that's a lapse in communication. You typically want your first player watching sandbags so you don't end up shooting each other in the crossfire. Forrester now onto the ramp. Going to be tossing an incendiary. That's going to stall a little bit longer. And Winstrike, it's not as if the time is plentiful. They've got to get on here right now. Rage perched up at the back of the site with York. Now spots Hobbit, who was waiting for the second player. That's so awkward. And now Bondik's going to line 2 of them up and spray them, leaving it down to Forrester up against Crizzen. And Crizzen will make sure that the map does not end quite yet. He extends it by at least 1.
Prolonging the inevitable is what we said when Hard Legion did this on Overpass, so I think it's only fair and just that I say the same for Winstrike. This is a huge mountain to climb, and I don't think they are equipped with their ice picks. 11 more rounds needed in a row, and that's just to start the clock back over for OT. You can see Forrester wants none of it. He has had enough, and he is pushing the perimeter, finding a kill down bottom B. Wallbang smoke kill. Don't know what he wallbanged, but he'll take it as Hard Legion take an advantage early. They want to keep pushing. Crad seems to. Smoke will fade soon, so he needs to back out before he dies. Spamming Bondik. Oh my. Lots of damage. Down to 7, but he will fall and give back that advantage. Also, giving his teammate a gun. So it's not all bad here for Hard Legion as they sit in a 4-on-4. Winstrike grouping B.
The group going to be attempted to be dispersed by Hard Legion, but they don't really have the information to facilitate that. We've got Kinky up close on B, but he's basically playing alone, and he does have the MP9, so sure, he can rip and tear and shred through a few of these players if they happen to get timing, but now a second player has joined him. It's going to be Forrester with one of the M4s who peeks out and has his head taken off now. Will that force Winstrike into a false sense of security? It does, and Kinky's going to punish them with the MP9. Nearly gets 3, does pick up 3, and it's just down to Bondik to 1 versus 3. Now, he's got the first, but 7 HP to his name. The bomb's not under his control. 2 CTs, no idea where they are, and down he goes to the hand of Sviat. And as much as the first map was one-sided, this was even more lopsided.